Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of April 11th, 2018. So let's get right into it. First up, we have American Gods, My Insel, number 2. It's basically just a straight kind of forward as book adaptation thing that's going on with American Gods. So I've been enjoying it for the most part, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep going with it. I want to reread American Gods, so we'll see. Next up, we have Jeff Lemire's Bloodshot Salvation in number 8. The last issue was pretty wordless. It didn't really have any words. So I'm looking, or didn't really have any art. So I'm looking forward to actually having some art in this issue, so we'll see. But I've been enjoying Lemire's run on Bloodshot, so I'm going to keep up with that. Next up, we have Detective Comics number 978. Batman Eternal continues in this. Katie Kane, she's the Batwoman. She's on her own level now, so we'll see where that goes. Next up, we have The Flash, number 44. Perfect Storm continues in this. Flash has been battling Grodd, but in the process of battling Grodd, other stuff has happened, and so Barry has to handle it. So we'll see if he can get out of that. Next up is another Jeff Lemire book, and it's from Image, and that's Gideon Falls, number 2. I read the first issue and loved it, so I can't wait to dive into issue 2. Really kind of more of a dark, horror-y type thing, but yeah, good stuff. Next up, we have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 42. This is Dark Star Rising, part 1. Or is it part 2? Yeah, part 1. Dark Stars are back, so I'm curious to see what Vendetti has in store for us before he leaves the Hal Jordan book. He started out after Johns' run. It was really rough, but he kind of he kind of evolved and improved as he went on the Green Lantern books, and then with the rebirth in the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, he's really come into his own. Hal Jordan's been an amazing title. So if you really are curious, not to mention that you should have read Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run, but Vendetti's, despite the rough start, is a good stuff as well. So yeah, check it out. Next up, we have something again from the DC New Age of Heroes, and that's the Immortal Men number 1. Jim Lee was supposed to draw a handful of issues. He apparently only drew a portion of this issue, and other people came in to finish it. So the kind of artist-driven side of the DC New Age of Heroes is not panning out so well, but I'm curious to see what the Immortal Men's about. It's supposed to feature the Man Who Laughs, so I'm curious to see what that all entails. So, despite the Lee stuff, I'm still hopeful. Next up, we have a Justice League of America number 28. Dawn of Time continues in this. Orlando's done a good job on Justice League of America. It's a fair book. I read it. It's enjoyable enough. So curious to see how it ends up, or how it kind of winds down, leading into Scott Snyder's No Justice. Next up, we have Ninja K number 6. Been enjoying Ninja K so far. It just basically continues from the Ninjak. And yes, I say Jack because if there's a dot and a K, I separate them. If not, it's all together. So it basically just continues from the previous story arc. So it's kind of a jumping on point, but not. I mean, yes, but I still enjoyed the stuff previous, so I do recommend checking that stuff out as well. Next up is issue 2 of Robert Kirkman's new one, Oblivion Song. Just an amazing read. I've already technically read the first trade's worth of books, and I must say, if you haven't picked it up, you should. It's really good, so I can't wait to dive back in and read issue 2. Next up, we have Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 21. Again, I'm just kind of... Red Hood and the Outlaws has been okay. I think Liddell has done a good job on the book with Rebirth. The stuff prior with the New 52, it wasn't my cup of tea, and the Red Hood and Arsenal stuff didn't cut it at all. So I'm still enjoying Red Hood and the Outlaws, so I'm still picking it up. Next up, we have Rose, number 10 from Meredith Finch. That's David Finch's wife. I've been enjoying the story. It's really cool. It's interesting to see her building the world that she's establishing. A little bit more needs to be done with that, but for the most part, I think it's a good, solid book. Next up, we have Scooby Apocalypse number 24. Yep, finally getting some action there. Scooby Apocalypse has just been a fun book. If you're curious about it, it's Scooby and the gang basically get or in the aftermath of a monster kind of apocalypse, just in general, what crappy thing could happen to people, zombies, werewolves, turning into slime monsters, yeah, all this stuff. So it's really kind of an interesting story premise, but I've been enjoying it since the beginning, so I do recommend it if you're curious, or if you like Scooby-Doo. Next up, we have Suicide Squad number 39. Shock and Awe is the header there. Like I say, I've been enjoying Suicide Squad. For the most part, it's just a good to solid book. Even the Psy Superior stuff was decent. So, yeah. So if you like Suicide Squad, check it out. Next up, we have Titans number 22. Apparently, Donna Troy is finally just fed up with being held captive because of who she might become. Titans is okay. It's not something I've never been a big Titans fan, but for the most part, it's okay. I don't know if I'm going to continue with it after the No Justice stuff happens and they kind of break things up or shift things around, but we'll see. Next up is Trinity number 21. The search for Steve Trevor continues in this. Yep, just fun. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman story. So, just enjoying it. Robinson picked up there and is doing a great job. Patrick Zurcher is the artist, and I love his stuff. So it's just overall a good book. And last up on my pull list is Wonder Woman number 44. This continues Amazon's Attacked. Wonder Woman's been going up against Darkseid, and what can I say? People have kind of fallen off Wonder Woman from what I hear, but I don't know why. It's still a really good book. Robinson's been doing a good job with it. So yeah, if you got off of Wonder Woman, you should get back onto the series because it's good stuff even after the rucka. All right, what do we got? We got variants now. So first up on my variants pile is Detective Comics number 978. Like that variant, so I decided to snag that one up. Flash 44 had a pretty cool variant, so I grabbed that one up. Justice League of America had a pretty dope one. I didn't actually pre-order this, like normally we use Comic Hub at Comics Conspiracy, and so I normally will pre-order my variants, but this one I couldn't really tell from the picture, but when I saw it on the shelf, I had to grab it. Next up we have Suicide Squad number 39, had its variant there. This is a book I picked up just because I just picked up the variant because, and that is Art Germ's variant on Supergirl 20. Art Germ just does amazing stuff. He tweeted today that the next thing coming is Wonder Woman, so I'm curious if he's going to take over doing variants on Wonder Woman. Cool, but I really like the variant artist on Wonder Woman, so yeah, and that, speaking of Wonder Woman 44, I picked up the variant for that. So that's it for my pull list of single issue comics. There is a graphic novel that comes out today, in basically getting you prepared for next week, and that is the Action Comics 80 Years of Superman, the Deluxe Edition. Now, this bad boy costs $30 or $29.99. I've already perused through it. It's basically a collection of kind of key appearance issues. There isn't a reprint of issue 1, Action Comics number 1 in here, and like key appearances of like Brainiac and Toyman and Supergirl. There's also some other appearances and other key kind of issues in it. It mainly focuses on the early days of Superman. They do go over kind of the decades and stuff like that. But I really felt like some of the stuff that some stuff was missing from this, especially the stuff pre New 52. They kind of glossed over, once they get to kind of, I'd say early 2000s, they don't really focus on anything coming out of Action Comics, which is a shame because there's some decent stuff in those later issues before the New 52. But overall, it's a nice kind of homage book that was put together by Paul Levitz. There is an unpublished. There is an unpublished. Let me see. What does this say? Siegel and Schuster, 12-page comic that was unpublished. That actually Marv Wolfman saved. So there is an essay by him in here. There's a bunch of like essays from Paul Levitz and a couple other people in the comic book industry and also surrounding the comic book industry. For $30, it's definitely worth it to pick up, just because the essays are really great. I've already read through all of them. I didn't read all the comics in here, but there's plenty of Action Comics that you can get a nice taste of in here, and not to mention that you're getting that unpublished one as well as a copy. You get to read a copy of the first one, and there's just a whole bunch of stuff in here that's really kind of just sets a good tone for Action Comics. So yeah, so I'm happy I picked this up. It'll be something that I come back to, but it's definitely something that you want to look up. Get for your collection, in my opinion. I will say this, at Comics Conspiracy, we are sold out of shelf copies, and we might not even have enough copies currently for the sets that we need to ship out for Action Comics 1000. Oh, and Action Comics 1000 is not in this book. It is not in this book. It clearly states it on the Amazon description page that Action Comics 1000 is not in this. Action Comics 1000 comes out next week, which will be my week from hell. But it's all in good fun. I'm actually really excited to check out Action Comics 1000, and just the energy and the scope of what this means for the industry, that Action Comics hit that 1000 mark. So yeah, but definitely something that you should check out and consider for your collection. We reorder more, so we have more Comics Conspiracy. But you should definitely try and snag yourself a copy, because I think it's something that will just it's a nice thing to have on yourself, and kind of nice to have like a little collection of random Action Comic stuff. So yeah, check it out. And last but not least, for my pull list, I did get a special order in, and that is the Harley Quinn red, white, and black Babs Tarr Harley statue. So this is the one where she's got the mallet and the roller derby outfit on. I really like this one. I'm really excited about it. The only thing I'm worried about is this box, for as big as it is light. Like, it weighs nothing. And so, yeah, I'm a little concerned. Normally, the black and white statues are kind of dense, so I'm afraid that this one might suffer from the one that Jim Lee did, which looked really cool, but ended up being this tiny, tiny statue that just did not, what's the word I'm looking for? Did not capture Jim Lee. It was based on Jim Lee, but because it was like so tiny, it just didn't feel like Jim Lee. It feels like somebody just tried to do oh, look, this is Jim Lee, you should buy it. So that one I've gotten rid of, but have I gotten rid of it? I don't know if I might have sold it. I don't know. It's up on my eBay, or I was up on my eBay, I know that. But yeah, so got another one to open for you. So so far, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 and 6 statues. No, 5. I think I got 5 statues that I need to do videos for. Oh, so much stuff. But hopefully I'll be able to get caught up. Not next week, though. I know last week I did not get a chance to get my video up. I'm going to get it up later today with this video, so you'll get a double dose, 2 weeks worth today. Sorry again, but had some stuff I had to take care of Wednesday evening, couldn't get it up, and then just Thursday was swamped. Friday, all this stuff happened, but let's basically say my mother ended up in the hospital over the weekend, and so I was kind of, just all over the place. We had our sale at Comics Conspiracy on Saturday, so yeah, just a chaotic weekend. But yeah, so I'll get those up and we'll get it all taken care of. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. And if you want, you can also listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just recorded episode 350 where we have a special guest, and that is Scott Snyder. So check it out. There'll be a link in the description below. And you can help me and my fellow conspirators out at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees, getting food sometimes, and getting products. So thank you to all our Patreon backers. And yeah, so I need to get these up so you can enjoy. And be prepared. Next week is huge with Action Comics 1000. I'll see you next week.